Friends of David Goldberg asked me to do an audio tape for you guys and just get this information out. I want to do more for them. I think that they're doing a great job just carrying on David's legacy. He gave his life to get this information out, and he saved my life. He saved my family's life. David did a lot of good things, and there's a lot more to the story than people don't know. They don't know the whole story, and I hope that I can start to tell more of it, because I really got to know David, and we had a lot of conversations. There's a lot more that has yet to be said. So I hope going forward I can do that. We've had some issues with our internet. I don't know if it's related to all this, but we're not in the United States anymore. We got out, and that's something that everybody, if you want to save your life and you want to save your family, you're going to have to get out of the United States. This is something David and I talked about. This is something I even talked about with my military source. There's no other way. Your guns aren't going to save you. And I love the Second Amendment. I love guns, but I'm going to get into that more. But I'm telling you right now up front, you got to get out. And the challenge for me, the challenge that I was looking at is we just didn't have enough money to get out. Even if we sold everything, we had some debts. I was really scared because I knew that we needed to get out. My military source had been telling me that for 2 years. And then I met David, and he confirmed it, and I knew we got to get out. And David really helped us with that, and I'll talk a little bit about that too. Because of David, we're out. Without him, if I hadn't met him, we'd still be there because we could not financially afford to leave and set up shop in another country and be able to survive for very long. David helped us out with that, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But I wrote down some notes just so I can stay on track and cover just about everything. There's a lot to cover. This could end up being an hour long. I don't know, but we're going to walk through all of it. We're going to talk about the economy. We're going to talk about Project Zyphr. We're going to talk about Project POGO. We're going to talk about the TTID program. We're going to talk about UN Agenda 2030. We're going to talk about how Israel's involved in all this. We're going to talk about China. We're going to talk about the plans for the invasion they have coming up. And we're going to talk about the economy and the crash that's coming. Now, I know a lot of people have heard all this. There have been these warnings for years and years. Well, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. I'm telling you now, it's already happening. When it comes to Project Zyphr, they've already killed a lot of people. And they've taken a lot of people offline. But you don't know about it because of the AI automation thing they got going on. And I talk about it in the blog. If you didn't see that blog post by the Friends of David Goldberg, you need to go read it, because that's all the information I've been giving them. This goes way beyond, they're going to round people up and this and that's going to happen. No. They've already done it. You just don't know about it. They're able to replace some of these people with AI. They've got the deep fakes. You don't know that these people are already gone. They're not just killing them, they're taking them underground to these underground bases, and I'm going to talk more about that too. But you don't know it. You think everything's normal. You're like, well, nothing's happened yet. No, it is happening. Okay, you might have some guy on YouTube you listen to, and he's still talking, he's still posting videos about patriotic things and about Trump or about what's coming, and that's all great. But that's not him. You need to read the blog post that the Friends of David Goldberg put up, because I really go into detail on that. They're replacing people. They can imitate you. They can have you post something on Facebook and you didn't do it, but it looks like you did it. They can have you post a video of you and your family at Disneyland, showing you and your kids at Disneyland, but that's not you. That's a deep fake. It's AI. It looks real. Now all your friends, all your family think you're in Disneyland, but you're dead or you're underground. You think this is fantasy, you think it's funny, you think it's a joke. It's not. It's real. And you don't have to know about Project Zyphr to know that some of this is real. You just open your eyes. They can create videos that look just like you, and it's not you, and they can emulate your voice. And they're using this stuff in a very insidious, evil way. Do you understand what I'm telling you? They're taking the technology, and they realize, oh, we can just take people out. And then we can recreate their lives on social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They take over your account, and they know, I mean, you're dead. They killed you. Whatever they did to you, you're gone. But you're still posting on Facebook. You're still posting on Twitter. You're still posting on Instagram. Nothing changed. It looks normal. It looks like you. All your friends and family think it's you. But now you said you went on vacation or you're sick and you don't want anybody to come over. So nobody checks on you. They don't check to see if you're home. Or you cancel an appointment. Or you make an excuse why you can't go meet a friend. This goes on and on. They can push this out months and months. And now your death and your disappearance isn't being investigated. Law enforcement's not going to investigate it because it looks like you're alive. It looks like you're on vacation in Disneyland. So I've been trying to talk about this and get this point through, but I don't think people are paying attention. I don't think they're listening. I don't think they get it. And that's something David and I felt when we spoke. People don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth. So he did get it, and he gave his life to tell the truth. And that last video that they put up of him and that audio, and everybody should listen to it because David was spilling the beans on these two classified projects, and they killed him for it. So I'm going to continue here. I got my notes. I had a couple people wrote, the friends of David Goldberg, that left some comments, and they wanted to know more about what we were involved in, David and I, in terms of how he helped my family. And I can't talk about that. I signed a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, and we cannot publicly talk about it. That would jeopardize everything that we're involved in, and I'm not going to do it. But all I can do is I can give you a hint. Go back and watch the video that the friends of David Goldberg put up of David's notes. You need to watch that carefully because there is a clue in there. Now, we've asked friends of David Goldberg to edit things, black things out, and they've done a hell of a job, but they missed one thing in that video. And that's not their fault. I'm not upset at them. And in a way, it's a blessing that they did it because now the cat's out of the bag. If you're smart, you're going to go watch the video with the notes from David. Pay attention, and there's your answer. If the answer's there, smart people are going to find it. It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be blacked out, but they made a mistake, and that's fine. Again, I think hopefully it's a blessing in disguise. But if you want to know more about how David helped us and how I was able to save my family because of him, well, you go watch his notes and you'll have the answer. And I'm going to talk more about that and just why you can't be in the United States. See, that's something the Patriot movement's not talking about. They're saying, well, you get your guns and get prepared and get off grid and get an underground bunker and this and that. No. That won't do a single thing to save your life or your family. Why? Because of TTID, because of Project Zyphr, because of what they're capable of doing. All right? They're not worried about you having guns. They're not worried about you going off grid. They're going to come and get you, and they're going to take you out. Period. They have the technology to do it. They know where you are. They know how to get to you. They're going to get you. And if you were taking those steps to protect yourself and do that, you're a very high level target for them. If you have guns and provision, you're a high level target, and they are going to come for you. You haven't done anything to protect yourself. This is something my military source has been telling me for a few years now, and David confirmed it. The documents talk about it. They're going to get you. And that's why I was scared to death. Am I going to be able to save my family? Am I going to be able to afford to get out of the United States? It costs money, and you need money to be able to live on. It's logistically difficult. You need a few $100,000 to really do it, minimum. Because when this all goes down, when the economy crashes, when what they got planned for the United States goes down, you're not going to have any pension. You're not going to have Social Security that you can live off of in another country. You're not going to have a bank account anymore in the United States. So you can't expect that's going to be there if you want to go move to Mexico or you want to go to South America. You have to think in terms of, I got to get my entire family out. We got to move to another country. We got to open bank accounts there. We got to have cash down there. We can't rely on the United States for any long-term income of any kind. Rental income, bank account. You got to think in terms of, it's going to be gone real soon, a couple years. I got to get my life somewhere else. And I'm going to talk a little bit about where you can go and the places that are safe. And I put together some information on that to help the people out there who do want to take action and save themselves. If you listen to what I'm telling you and you go and look at the video with David's notes, I just told you what to do. If you do it and you take the action that you need to take, you'll be able to do what I did with my family, and that is move completely out of the United States, 100%. It was a lot of work, but we have the money to do it now, and we are going to be safe. And I have assurances that we're going to be safe from my military source. He said that the elites and the people in power, they want there to be countries that are safe. They don't want to do this to every country. They want safe zones too for themselves. Now, some of you probably already know what some of those places are. New Zealand, parts of South America. If you're smart and informed, you know those two spots are going to be okay. And I'm going to talk a little more in a bit about that, where you can go. I'm just looking at my notes again. Oh, God. I mean, one thing that just scared the absolute hell out of me is they're already removing patriots. There have been power outages. There's this whole vaccine thing going on. We've got the 5G, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Of course, that's part of it. But what they're doing is they're not just murdering people. They really want to just take these people and put them in the underground bases. They take them underground. They have huge bases all over the country, and I'll talk about where they are. And some of you already know where some of them are. They take them down there. They're huge. Football field size levels go down 20 stories on, as far as I can see, of cages. Cages. You know, you've seen some of that stuff on the border where they were complaining about Trump and how he put the kids in the cages on the border. You know what I'm talking about? That is nothing compared to what goes on down underground. What they really want are the people like you and me, patriots, Christians, God-fearing people, even people like David, who did not believe in the same things I believed in, but we shared the truth. I mean, if you know the truth, they're going to come after you. They want these people alive, and they're going to do experiments on them. They're going to do torture on them. The things that go on down there are beyond anything you can imagine. I'm talking about chimeras. I'm talking about where they're combining our DNA with animals and creating hybrid creatures. That's just an example of things they do. That's the real terrifying aspect of it. I mean, it's easier if they just kill you and you get to go to heaven. For a lot of these patriots, they got their guns and they got their provisions and they're bugged out off grid. It's going to be a lot worse for you. Not only is that not going to protect you, they're going to come for you and they're going to take you on the ground and they're going to do things to you and your family you don't even want to think about. And it is in the documents. David showed them to me. I laid eyes on them. Now, some people might not understand the relationship there. My military source told me about Project Zyphr and Project Pogo over a year. Well, it was a couple different occasions. Before I knew about David and met David, he told me about all this, but he did not use the names of the projects, and that's because we had these face-to-face conversations that could have been recorded or overheard, and we had to be really careful. He never used the names of the projects. Then I meet David, and then I learn about all this, and I said, oh my God, this is the same thing. My military source was talking about it. David's talking about it too. They don't know each other at all. They did not know each other from Adam, but there was the same information that really confirmed for me that this is real. And then David showed me the documents because I'd never seen the documents. I'd only been told about it. David showed me the documents. I laid eyes on them. I'm not going to tell you how I saw them, but I'll tell you I saw them. And oh my God, it was terrifying because they were real. The documents were real. I have a military background myself. I know what the documents are supposed to look like, how they look. These were real, and everything in them matched up to what my military source had told me previously. So, absolutely terrifying what they got planned. And they want you to be totally asleep. There's a reason why there have been so many people that have cried wolf over the past 10, 15 years. Well, there's going to be martial law. Well, this is going to happen. Jade Helm's going to happen. These paid disinfo agents were paid to do this, to put you to sleep, so then when somebody like me comes along or David comes along, you don't listen, and you don't take action, you don't do anything. This is a long-term psychological program. If they knew if they had enough people cry wolf, well, 2012, well, Obama's going to declare martial law. Well, Jade Helm is the beginning of the end. This kept happening and happening and happening, and it demoralized the Patriot movement. And now when somebody starts talking about it, nobody believes them. Well, you can believe me and you can believe what David said. I mean, if you don't believe now, there is no hope for you. What they want you to believe, though, is that your guns are going to protect you. You're going to be able to go underground, and you're going to be able to, well, I'll have a bunker, or you're going to have provisions, you're going to be off-grid. Some of these disinfo agents out there are peddling this nonsense about bugging out. That's how you're going to get caught and killed and taken underground. If they don't kill you, they're taking you underground because they got the TTID program. Is anybody talking about it? No. David had the real deal. I've got the real deal. And I'm telling you now, you got to get the hell out of the country. If you don't have a plan to leave the United States, you're good as dead or good as captured. Period. So that's something I really wanted to impress upon people because I don't think they get it. They really think, and I saw some comments on David's video that the Friends of David Goldberg had put up, the Project Zyphr video that they put up with the warning. And it says, warning, this could be disturbing. And then you look at the comments and a whole bunch of people say, well, I got my guns. I've got my guns and I'm safe. And I just shook my head. I said, you're good as dead, or that they know where you are. TTID program already had it in place for a long time now, at least 2 years, I believe. They know where everybody is. They know about your guns. They know where you're planning to go. They know where your provisions are. They're targeting you first with Project Zyphr because they need to get rid of you. They don't want you out there. They don't want somebody. They don't want people out there that are prepared. That you're the target. You're their top level target. They're already taking some out. I've been told 100,000 are gone. All over the country, they're gone. And they're testing it out. And all those people that they took away, they're still active on social media. They're still talking on Facebook. The AI automated script is running, in other words. Nobody's the wiser. Nobody's reported them missing. Nobody's gone to check on them because the AI script is in place to make it seem like, oh, they took a vacation. Oh, man, they're sick. They don't want anybody coming over. They're contagious. This, that. The AI has these things in place so that it's going to take a really, really long time for you to figure out they're gone. And by then, the cops lost interest. They said, well, it looks like they're posting on Facebook. What do you mean your friend's gone? Look at that video on their Facebook. They're in Disneyland. Is this clicking for you? I mean, is this making sense how this works? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. All right, I'm back. It's a lot to take in. I hope you listen to this. I hope you paid attention. I hope you read the blog post the Friends of David Goldberg put up. It's their latest one. Really detailed. I've been sharing a lot of information with them. They've done a really good job. Another thing I want to talk about was just my relationship with David. We really became close friends, and losing him was hard. And it's not something I like to talk about. I like to think of him as still being with us. And the Friends of David Goldberg YouTube channel makes me feel like he's still with us. And that makes me feel good, because when I think about him being gone, I get emotional, because we really got close. I mean, he was a good guy with totally different backgrounds. He was Jewish, I'm Christian, really different backgrounds, but we really started to connect because David knew things that not even my military source knows. David knew more than people even understand. David had a background that went, I believe he was involved in an intelligence capacity that he didn't talk about. Now, he talked about some of the other things he was involved in, whether it was Jewish organizations and things like that, but there was more there. And he gave me some hints, and he warned me that our lives were in danger. He said his life was in danger, and he knew it, and he was right. And I believe the reason they took him out, they felt like he was going to release the documents. They felt like he had the motive and the intent to release those documents, and then they took action. Because my feeling and my understanding is he's one of theirs. He's one of theirs. He was one of theirs. They did not want to kill him, but he really changed his tune in those final months. He really turned against his homeland, and that is Israel, and he really turned against the whole agenda. In my conversations with him, if you listen to his videos, he does start to change. If you go back to his first video and his second video, and you continue to listen, he changes. And that had a lot to do with me, because I was talking to him almost every day on the phone, really telling him, look, David, this isn't good what they're doing. You know this is wrong. And his heart did change. They knew we had documents. They felt he's going to release them. They said, we're going to take them out. And they did. And the reason that Friends of David Goldberg hadn't released them, because they know their lives are in danger. The simple fact is, if the documents are released, the YouTube channel is going to be gone in about 10 minutes, and you're never going to hear it about again. And the Friends of David Goldberg, their lives are going to be in danger. There's simply no reason to release them right now. I've advised them, don't you dare do it. You're going to end up like David. They get it. The documents are they're too compelling. I mean, if that stuff got out to the public, it would really, really shift things, because, as I said, I've seen them. And they are detailed, and they are realistic, and I have a military background, and I tell you, those are real. And I think if they came out, it could be a real problem for them. So they're pretty content to let us talk as long as the documents don't get out. So that's the why behind that. And it's a good thing, because you're getting the truth as it is. And I think there's a reason why they haven't taken down the channel yet. I talked to some of the people behind the Friends of David Goldberg, some of his friends, and we talked a lot, and I've gotten to know some of them, and they're different backgrounds, interesting people. A lot of them aren't really familiar with a lot of this information. They didn't understand a lot of it at first. What they did is they took David's instructions, and they're faithfully following through on them. And I can tell you right now, they're not they're not conspiracy-minded people. They're not involved. They don't know anything about a lot of this stuff. They seem like good people. They're, you know, I'm not going to say where they're from, but you get an idea. They're from New York area, different, David knew them through different organizations and such. And he had them all, you know, agree to, hey, look, if something happens to me, I need you to carry on what I'm trying to do here. And I helped David with some of that. I said, David, well, you're going to have him do this, and you need to tell him to do this, and you need to write out some instructions, and you need to have these people in place and ready to go if something happens to you. And he did that, and he got these people ready, and they got him the passwords to the YouTube channel. He taught them, here's how you log in. Here's what I want you to do if something happens to me. Here's all my stuff. Here's where I hid it in my, I guess it was under his floor. And he had a safe. Here's how to get into the safe. And he shared this with a certain amount of people. I'm not going to say how many. And they've done a great job. And they loved him. I mean, they were very close to him for many years, different capacities, different organizations and that he worked for. And they've done a really good job fulfilling this. But I can tell you now, they're not like us. Like, they don't know about a lot of this stuff. It's very confusing to them. I know some of them have kind of questioned me, like, what was David into? What is all this? We don't really get any of this. We're going to do our best to fulfill his wishes, but we don't really believe this, or we don't really understand it. And I've told them, look, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to understand it. Do what David wanted you to do. Follow through on your promise to him, because this has to happen. I don't have connection with the YouTube channel. I don't have the passwords. I can't keep it going. I've encouraged them, and I've said to them, look, I'd love to help you out, and I wish I could. David didn't share that with me. I think he was going to, but unfortunately, he passed, and they got to him. So I'm not part of that circle. All I can do is encourage them, and that's what I've been doing. Now that I've been talking to them, we're communicating a lot. I've said, look, you don't have to believe this. You don't have to buy into it. What you got to do is you got to keep your promise to David, and they're doing it. Some things have happened to them. They've had some threats. There's some legal things going on behind the scenes. They're doing a really good job. And again, I speculated with David before he passed. I said, David, why are they allowing the channel? You're talking about a lot of things that are pretty, you know, they know what you're doing. You've got this person in the White House you're talking to. Why is this still going? And David said that he believed, number one, he's one of them, and I already alluded to what that meant. He had an intelligent background. I'm going to leave it at that. Number two, he wasn't very high profile. Not very many people knew about the channel. And number three, he speculated, because he knows about this, he knew about this firsthand. They believe in telling their victims what they're going to do before they do it, just like with 9/11. They told people what they were going to do through media, through television, predictive programming. If you don't know what predictive programming is, you need to Google it right now and get informed. David speculated they might be doing that with his channel. He didn't know for sure, it's possible, why they leave it up. But I do know if the classified documents get posted, it's all over. They'll shut it down instantly, because that's going too far for them. I think it's too far. They don't want that out. So I want to talk a little bit about that, just David, my relationship with him, my relationship with the friends of David Goldberg, how things are going and progressing. I'm sharing more and more information. I hope we can get more videos up. I hope that they can do more blog posts, because the blog posts they did a heck of a job with it. They took a lot of things that I said to them over the phone, that I said to them by email, and they put together a really nice post that did a real good job getting that information out there. Now, whether people are paying attention or not, I don't know. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. I mean, everybody needs to hear this, but people are so asleep, so deluded. They're so wrapped up in the disinfo channels that they listen to. A Q is a good example, the QAnon thing. Huge disinfo operation, and that's going to trigger people, and they're going to get real mad. They're going to say, oh, Tom's against Q. Tom doesn't like Q, and now I hate Tom. That's how they control you. I know for a fact that Q is not what it says it is. We'll just leave it at that. You got to be smarter than paying attention to that. Because whatever Trump's doing, whatever you think of Trump, that is a distraction because Trump is not getting the job done. When Donald Trump comes out and talks about 5G and how great 5G is and how he's going to accelerate 5G in America, that's when it's time to take a step back. That's when it's time to take a step back, whatever you feel about Trump. Now, David and I disagreed on Trump. David felt that Trump was this and that. I said, no, David, I don't agree with you. Of course, I voted for Trump. I like him, so it was hard for me to hear all that. But I can tell you right now, if you're putting your faith in Trump and not in Jesus, whatever you look, your religious beliefs, I'm not going to preach. I'm not going to talk about any of that because I know that can turn some people off, but I am a Christian. If you're putting your faith in Trump, it's time for you need to check yourself. Because this man's coming out talking about how he's going to spread 5G all over America. He may be misinformed. Maybe they're lying to him. They're saying, Donald Trump, hey, talk about how great 5G is, and he doesn't understand how bad it is. That's possible. He may not fully understand it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But whatever the hell the case of it is, that's a bad thing. If he's helping roll out 5G, that's going to be a big part of the extermination and the purge and how they track you and how they shut you down mentally with that. 5G is very dangerous. 5G is nothing like the cell towers they got up now. The cell towers they got up now, 4G, 3G, they can track you with them. 5G is a weapon system. So 5G, and when Trump comes out and talks about 5G, that needs to set off some alarm bells in your head. You need to wake up. Now listen to me. I want to get back to getting out of the USA because this is something nobody's talking about. Nobody in the Patriot movement's talking about it. None of these disinfo agents that y'all trust and put your faith in, they don't talk about it. What do they talk about? They talk about preparing, getting your guns, having being off grid, having a bug out location. That's all great, but it's not going to work. They have nano devices. They have little drones that can fly up to your window in your home and drill a little hole, and then the drone flies in, and then it shoots you with a little dart, and it puts you to sleep. It paralyzes you. They have all different kinds of drugs they can shoot into you to get you to do what they want you to do. Now, how are you going to stop that with a gun? You can't. There's a lot of David and I talked about this a lot. There's a lot of disinfo channels out there that are designed to keep you pacified, whether it's with QAnon, with Trump, or telling you, get your guns and prepare and bug out. All of that is a disinfo campaign. And I'm not going to talk about who's doing it. You know who's doing it. David told you who's doing it. The reason I'm not going to talk about who's doing it, because I want this video to stay up. But you can figure it out. All right? They're the tribe, the people behind a lot of this. They're satanic, all right? So, they're not dumb. Do you think guns are going to stop these people? They are intent on wiping out Christians and patriots and anybody who's awake and knows the truth. They're going to get you, and your guns aren't going to... Hold on a minute, hold on. Oh, dang. What is this? Something, okay, that should not happen. They should not be able to do what they're doing right now to my phone. I'm going to turn this off and continue this recording in a minute.